As the world moves steadily toward the final day of 2025, many people are wondering what December 31, 2025 might symbolize on a global, technological, social, and personal level, and according to the analytical perspectives often discussed by futurist and systems researcher Dr. David Jerem, that date is less about dramatic prophecy and more about visible turning points that converge at the end of a transformative year, because the first thing likely to happen on December 31, 2025 is a collective psychological shift as billions of people mark not only the end of a calendar year but the emotional closure of the first half of the decade, a moment when societies pause to reflect on how rapidly the world has changed since 2020, including shifts in work culture, artificial intelligence, global health awareness, and digital identity, and this mass reflection creates a powerful sense of reset where individuals and nations reassess priorities, values, and long-term goals. The second thing expected to happen is the formal consolidation of artificial intelligence into everyday governance and business operations, because by the end of 2025, AI systems will no longer feel experimental or optional, but rather normalized tools used in customer service, logistics, education, healthcare triage, content creation, and even legal and financial analysis, and Dr. Jerem often emphasizes that December 31, 2025 symbolically represents the point where AI transitions from assisted intelligence to embedded intelligence, meaning people stop noticing it as a separate technology and start treating it like electricity or the internet, something always present and quietly shaping decisions in the background. The third major development likely to be visible on that day is a global financial recalibration, not necessarily a crisis, but a clear shift in how money is perceived and moved, as digital currencies, cashless payments, and blockchain-based settlement systems become dominant in many regions, with governments closing the year by reporting new regulatory frameworks, central bank digital currency trials, and reduced reliance on physical cash, which aligns with Dr. Jerem's view that 2025 is the year trust moves from institutions alone to systems that emphasize transparency, traceability, and real-time verification. The fourth thing that will happen on December 31, 2025 is a noticeable change in how people celebrate and connect, because hybrid celebrations combining physical gatherings with immersive digital experiences will be mainstream, allowing families and friends across continents to celebrate together in shared virtual spaces, augmented reality environments, and live interactive broadcasts, reflecting a world that has learned to blend presence and distance. And Dr. Jerem notes that this shift is not about replacing human connection but expanding it, making the final night of 2025 a demonstration of how technology can deepen emotional bonds rather than weaken them. The fifth event that becomes clear on that date is an environmental reckoning combined with cautious optimism as governments, corporations, and activists release end-of-year climate data showing both the consequences of delayed action and the measurable impact of renewable energy adoption, electric mobility, and sustainable agriculture, making December 31, 2025 a moment where the narrative around climate change moves from abstract warnings to data-driven accountability, something Dr. Jerem often describes as the point when sustainability stops being a moral slogan and becomes a measurable performance indicator. The sixth thing expected to happen is a generational handover in influence, as younger leaders, creators, and entrepreneurs close out the year having shaped major cultural conversations around mental health, work-life balance, digital ownership, and social justice, while older systems of hierarchy continue to adapt. And this transition becomes visible in end-of-year media, awards, policy announcements, and online trends, reinforcing Dr. Jerem's belief that 2025 marks the rise of adaptive leadership over authoritative leadership. Finally, the seventh thing that will happen on December 31, 2025 is deeply personal rather than global because for millions of individuals that night will represent closure, healing, and intention setting as people let go of identities shaped by crisis years and step into more intentional versions of themselves, using the lessons of uncertainty, resilience, and reinvention learned throughout the decade, and Dr. David Jerem often stresses that while no single date magically changes the world, certain moments concentrate meaning, and December 31, 2025 will stand out as a symbolic checkpoint where humanity collectively acknowledges how far it has come, how interconnected it has become, and how responsible it now is for shaping the future beyond 2025, making that final day not a prediction of dramatic events, but a powerful convergence of awareness, technology, culture, and choice that quietly but decisively sets the tone for the years ahead.